Hey guys, it's me, Ria, with today's message from the heart. These are all cards from Mother Earth. And because we are one with Mother Earth, all of these cards also have a message that pertains to our very own individual heart energy. So today's card that popped out after I shuffled, it kind of presented itself. It's this little guy here. We've had it in the past. Like all the cards, we experience, similar situations and cycles, or throughout our life, we might go through something again, but from a different perspective. So we'll see what this card is. It's a little glob of sand in the shape of a heart. Has a little lighter spot here. It's on the beach. Sand is all around it. And yeah, it's winter time. There's a little bit of, sorry about that lighting. There's a little bit of, light snow on the sand. And the title of today's card is entitled Death. Nothing separates more than the illusion of death. Death is simply a shift in consciousness. It is not an ending. It is a shift in perception and an expansion of creation. May the truth of eternity set you free to connect to all dimensions without boundaries. Rejoice in the continuum of everlasting life. So what this is saying is death is really an illusion. Nothing really ever ends, whether it be physical death, whether it be some big major transition in your life, a life you leave behind in order to embrace a new life. It's all about endings. But the flip side of ending, and if there's an ending, there's always a beginning. An ending to something, but a beginning to something new. And in the way that it really is not an ending, that very thing that is ending, say you're going through a big job transition, or you're going to move to a different part of the country, or you just ended a relationship. All of those things represent deaths of an old situation, an old relationship, an old way of being, even just a way of being. But all of those experiences that you had in that other life, the thing that is ending, you've gained expansion of self-realization, you have gained experiences, you have gained just a greater view of yourself, of others, of life, what you want, what you don't want. You've probably have released a lot of things in yourself that no longer serve you, that did serve you. Even the death itself, you're leaving behind something because that cycle is ended. You are done with that part of your life because it has served you. And now it is time to move on through a new door, a new opening, a new reality. And anything it usually means a complete death, a complete severance, but anything that you take with you, whether it be the old experiences, or you're taking maybe people with you into your new life, your transition, not transition even, because it's just an ending and then a new beginning. Anything you're taking with you is brought to you because it still serves you, and it will continue to expand and evolve into greater creations, greater insights, greater expansions of love. And a lot of times the endings can seem hard. They can seem dark because, there's the unknown in there. There's the unknown, but there's that little speck of light. And it's the speck of light that excites you. It's the little speck of light that keeps you moving, that little speck of energy that keeps you moving forward when you do leave something behind, when you do close a door and open a new door. But that little speck of light is that light. It's the unknown. It'll be brighter once you walk through it, but you taking that, it's that little motivating piece of you to keep you moving forward, even though you don't know. It's usually unknown. That's why it's kind of in the dark, but it will lead you, and this will expand. The light and the love will expand. It's almost like you can see the card around it. This looks like a really bright opening. So as you leave your old life, or whatever it is you're leaving behind, it will enter into new life. This could even be something as simple as an old way of being. It could be a complete change in health. It can be a complete overhaul in, say, your diet, exercise, leaving an addiction, going for some self-healing. It's a complete severance you're leaving behind something in order to gain new life. Usually it's unknown because you don't know everything. You can't see how everything's going to evolve, so it takes a certain amount of trust. Sometimes these deaths in life are chosen by you consciously, and you're saying, hey, I'm ready to leave this life behind. I want to embrace this. I want to embrace something new. I want a new adventure. I want a new me. I want a new life. I want a new creative expression or outlet. I want a new, something as simple as I want a new form of exercise. But usually the death is something kind of major. It's something huge in your life. And it's all going to bring you to a greater light. And then kind of the darkness to me too represents not only the unknown, but that is no longer the life that you're leaving behind, or the situation or the relationship or the job or the anything. It's brown, like it's almost like it's gone. It's served its time. It's served its purpose. It has helped you to expand to the person you are now, but now it is just time to leave that part behind and move on. Move on to something greater, a greater version of you. A greater version of you is what life is all about. We're always evolving into a greater expansion version perception. Like, if you're really like living your life on your path, you would never look back and like say, geez, I wish I could go back to this time in my life, or I wish I could go back to school, or I wish I could. If you get these wishes, you're probably needing to tweak something in your life, because to me, every moment should be the best moment that you're in. Because life, if God is all of life, and life is nothing, God is nothing but love and light and good, then every new thing, every new step, every new shift should be embraced, and you should not want to be anywhere else. You should just totally love that point in your life where you are. And if you're not, a lot of times it's just old ways of thinking, old paradigms, thinking things need to be a certain way, thinking it's better when you are a certain age or whatever it is. It's because you're not seeing it fully for the light that it is. You're not maybe making choices that are more in alignment to your heart. So you might want to regress back to a time where you were more in alignment. That's all that means, is when you say, oh, I wish things were like this, like maybe you were freer, maybe you were younger, maybe you didn't have the responsibilities, but it's because you are more in alignment to your heart. And that's really ultimately the way you should always be living. You should always be living in freedom. And when you're making choices that are aligned to your heart, it does give you more sense of freedom. And even if you're busy, it still gives you a sense of freedom, because you're totally immersed in that which you love. Because if you're doing what you love, then it's not really work. It's not hardship. You don't feel like it's a burden. You don't feel like it's a heavy responsibility, because alignment to the heart should feel light, and it should feel love. And if it's not feeling that, then sometimes that's exactly what the death card will bring. It will bring us, it'll sometimes force us to make those changes. To me, this is kind of like the, on the tarot card, the Tower, where things are just breaking down. There's a complete ending and a new beginning. The old is kind of breaking down. It's leaving, whether it could be chosen on a conscious level or something that just comes in your life, but it's because you, from a higher level, have drawn that in your life in order to get yourself on the right path, or get you on a greater expansion. Because life, universe, God, it's always pushing, it's always operating for expansion and greater love. It's always moving in a positive direction. So that's just kind of something to think about if you're going through that. Or maybe this card is just, it could be comforting you if you're going through that and don't feel like you really want to go through a death into a new beginning. But it also could be telling you, hey, is there something in your life you need to completely sever in order to create a new life? It could be guiding us on that too. Only you know. Tune into your heart. You can just ask it, say, hey, heart, what do you want me to know today? And you can even ask for like an outward sign, because the outward sign isn't something separate from yourself. It's you asking for it, and through your higher power, you are bringing that into your life as an affirmation. Life is super duper 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 magical when you know you're part of all, and everything is intertwined and everything works for good, and it gets super magical, and it's super fun. But us as a human, we still go through the difficult, sometimes transition, or the unknown, or doubt, and all that kind of stuff. And that this is just telling us that, hey, death is a good thing. it leads to new life. All right, guys, hopefully this might give somebody a little insight. Always bring your own wisdom to the table. Only you know your own heart. And have an awesome day.